Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole giving you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are looking at this video. Hey, Nene, good evening. Did you get the notification? You know, I always have to ask, did you get the notification or you just knew to came in? Came in. Lord have mercy. You just knew to come in at this time. Let me know. I think Jay actually posted this a couple of days ago. Favorite show in the Power Universe. Yes, my favorite as well. Okay, you got the notification. Excellent. Excellent. We'll wait a couple of minutes as people roll on in. If you guys notice in the upper right hand corner, I removed my logo there because I don't want anyone's faces to be covered up when we talk about this. Hey, Jay, what's up? What's up? Good evening. So, we are about to talk about Raising Kanan, which actually comes on December 1st. So, we are literally like 2 days, but not even 2 days away. It's like less than 2 days away before we actually watch Raising Kanan. So, with that being said, Nene, do you watch Raising Kanan? Because I know Jay watches it. Do you watch it, Nene? We're going to get into it. And then, of course, people will either come in or we'll actually have people watch it later. It's way better than Force, which will get canceled. I don't know if Force is going to get canceled. When you really think about it, Jay, how many Stars shows get canceled? You don't really see that many Star shows getting canceled. So I feel like they're going to keep it. And I don't think that Power, one of their major money makers, will ever get canceled. But yes, in my opinion, Raising Kanan is the best of the best when it comes to the Power franchise. See, you like Force. I think a couple other people, I think Teef said he likes Force too. I've tried to rewatch it. I can't get into it. I can't. It's hard. And Tommy was my favorite character in the original Power, and I still can't get into it. So we shall see. Maybe I'll try to watch it again. But I don't know. Especially with Raising Kanan coming on, I'm just probably not gonna have the time. You like Power too? Are you saying you said you like Ghost too? Like the Power book too? Ghost? I hate that one. I don't like it, Nene. I do not like it. I don't know. To me, the writing, everything is just it's not it. But let's get started with predictions as far as Raising Kanan is concerned, y'all. Oh man, I hope they do not disappoint. I hope they do not disappoint. We actually, the first season and the second season was pretty dang on good. So we're going to see. So I'm going to just go with the main characters and the conflicts that they have had and what my predictions could be for not only this season, but maybe what we're going to see in seasons beyond season 3. All right, so let's get started. Whew. All right, y'all. We got Famous. I wanted to start off with Famous. In my personal opinion, I know that they said it was the blow your smoke, the green that Kanan, that Famous was on. I think, in my personal opinion, he is on something harder than the green. He is on something harder than the green. The way that he's been acting, not wanting to go to school, the ups and downs as far as, him being on an emotional roller coaster. Granted, I know he got kicked out of his mother's house, so he's kind of struggling. But at the same time, I feel like he has gotten on something much stronger. And we're probably going to start seeing that even more this season. All right. We clearly know the last episode, or second to last episode, Famous decided, and this is when we really know, well, in my opinion, I really knew at that point he was on something harder than the green. All right. When he decided to unalive old boy. All right. That's when I knew this is beyond green. So he has that situation to deal with. As we know, we saw someone slightly open up the door. We saw them talking to an older man. The older man is like, I don't know what you're talking about. It could be the older man who slightly opened up the door, but it could be someone else. Now, Famous is probably going to have that guy's crew coming after him this season. But I think it's going to be deeper too, because one, we already know he's not built for this life that Kanan is about to go head first into. In my opinion, and it's so funny, Jay, that you said that. Yes, Famous is a liability. If it's not going to happen this season, eventually, in my opinion, it's going to happen. This is just my prediction that Kanan is probably going to have to unalive Famous. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's where it's going to eventually go. I don't think it's going to be jail time. I don't think he's cut out for jail, but I do think eventually something like that is going to happen. Not anyone else from the other family, but I think Kanan's probably going to have to take out his own boy. That's what my prediction is. Now, could be in another season, but this season, I feel like we're really going to get a major downfall when it comes to Famous. Yes, or Jukebox could take him out. That's true. Jukebox could take him out. Somebody close to him is going to take him out. Someone's going to unalive him. I just don't see it being jail. I don't see it being, but again, good writing, what we predict, sometimes it can be the complete opposite. Maybe he does go to jail, and maybe he spends most of his life now in jail because of what he did. It's possible. But my prediction, I'm going to say Kanan's going to have to be the one, because that's going to make Kanan ruthless, because Kanan eventually got ruthless to the point where he unalived his own son. You have to be very familiar with doing that in familiar territories of taking people out that you're close to. So could be Kanan. So yeah, exactly. He on that rock. That's what it's coming off at, that he is on that rock. And yeah, it's possible. So Jay, if it is Juke, you said it. If Famous isn't unalive, I think he's gonna become, yeah, definitely. But the problem is, when you have a full-blown junkie on your hands, just like the one that Marvin unalived last season, they'll talk, especially if it's going to help them in a situation. So that's why I'm saying eventually he's probably going to have to be unalive. But that's what I'm thinking. We're going to see full-blown him going the downward spiral as far as his usage and him being a user. And definitely, I'm assuming the Rock or the White. But yeah, and then eventually I think we're going to see him get unalived. So we're going to move on. But that's for Famous. Could it possibly his sister come back? I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the sister is gone. If we see the sister again or the mom again, we're going to see them probably at the funeral. But let's continue. Burke. Good old Burke. Burke. Okay, so Burke got a lot of stuff going on, all right? She is definitely constantly questioning everyone in regards to Howard, in regards to Rock, in regards to Kanan. As we see at the end of season 2, she is questioning Kanan. Kanan accidentally knocks her down and runs away. She was literally getting to the point where she was so desperate that she was going to literally put him in handcuffs and take him to jail, simply because she can't get the answers that she wants. She is becoming desperate. So we have Nicole's father, and I couldn't find a picture of him, so I had to put Nicole's father. We have Nicole's father, who is gung-ho right now, believing that Burke is responsible for, Nicole's passing. All right. We clearly know that's not true. Then we have Kanan. Then we have Howard, and she is so relentless to the point where her own girlfriend has told her, "You're not investigating your partner's shooting. You are investigating your partner," which is an absolute no-no when it's the police. Then we have Jukebox in their relationship. So here's my prediction. Now, at first, I was like, there is no way in hell they're going to unalive her. And why was I thinking that? Because she comes from a family full of cops. Remember, her father was a cop. I think she even said her brothers were cops. They wanted her to do something totally different, but she ended up following the family tradition. It would kind of be crazy for you to do that, knowing her background, her family's background, and the fact that she has mentioned this to not only her girlfriend, but her father. But if we're going to go back to the history of true life events, Queens is one of those boroughs that has never, ever been one to mess with. Why? Because if you look Queens up, if I'm not mistaken, Queens was the first borough that actually, this is like in the news where, and it's been in documentaries where they actually unalived a cop. Okay. It was huge to the point where everything got shut down. Every other borough, hell, they was even talking about either other states were shut down because of what happened in Queens. So they could kind of want to do a replica of that because of the fact that this is supposed to be based in Queens. Or it could be that they set her up and she has to go through some legal stuff and she has to, get to a point where she can't be a cop anymore or she's on suspension. So I don't know. Like, I feel like unaliving her would be very predictable because I think that's what everyone is thinking. I'm thinking there's going to be a setup. There's going to be a setup where she can no longer become a cop, or her badge and everything else is going to be taken from her. Then maybe at that point, when she's no longer a cop, then maybe something will happen to her as far as unaliving her. I just don't know if that's the first thing they would do. So that's going to be my prediction for her. I really don't think they're going to unalive her. I think that they're going to eventually, maybe, but it's going to be some type of setup. They're going to make her look like it's possible. I just feel like it's too easy to just unalive her, especially when, remember, she told her girlfriend about this. She told her father she doesn't understand her partner. And, and the father was like, that's the main person you got to trust. And if you don't trust him, who can you trust? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to necessarily unalive her. I feel like it's too predictable. But again, we have had power situations where power has been predictable like that. But if I were them, I would do something totally different to where she wouldn't probably be able to get any job anywhere else after that. I would definitely do that. But again, it's possible. You said by episode 3, you're talking about out of here about unalive. We'll see. I just feel like that's too predictable. I think by last season, when she was going hard, everyone assumed at that point that they were definitely going to take her out in that way. I think that's too predictable. It could be that Nicole's father and Nicole's family is the reason why she's taken down. It could be that. You know what I mean? Howard may not be able to take, her down by himself, but he can definitely assist. And when you're dealing with families with lots of money, it could be that. That could be the situation. So that's my prediction. I'm going to stand on it that they would not do it, that it would be too predictable to unalive her. I think there's going to be another way they're going to get her out of there, or at least weaken her to where she doesn't have access. I know it isn't. So I'm hoping they don't do the unalive, because like you said, and like a lot of us are saying, by last season, everybody said, oh, she's done. She's done. They're going to unalive her. But I feel like that's too predictable. But we'll see. But that's my prediction on the situation. Now, Howard. So, of course, we know we got Burke that's on him, like white on rice. But we also have Rock. And I don't necessarily know. Hey, Ruby, I don't necessarily know. And you guys, hit the like button. And for those who are listening in, but they're not chatting, also, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. But I don't think that Rock is someone to be trusted when it comes to Howard. Let's be clear. One thing she will always have over his head, even though he has Kanan being his actual son versus Decon, because I don't know if I could say the word Decon, she will always have over his head that she was a minor. She was a minor. So she will always have that. I don't necessarily know if I would trust Rock in that situation. Maybe right now they're doing what they can to make sure that Kanan is protected to a certain extent. But at the same time, Rock is the reason why he got shot up in the first place and tried to use his own son to do it. So I think she is still just as much as a threat in the situation as Burke is. I think he definitely needs to be careful with Rock. I think that he's going to have several things going on when it comes to Burke, but at the same time, several things where Rock is going to always try to be ahead of him in the situation. He's no longer sick. Could it be possible that, that does come back? Yes, it's possible. They may have that come back where he's sick again. If Howard completely takes Burke out, and what I mean by take her out unalive, it wouldn't because of her constantly getting into his business. I think it would be to protect Kanan. I think it would be that more than anything. But yeah, it would definitely, he would be involved in it some kind of way. But I think that would be too easy to point the finger at him. But yeah, so I think his main two issues this season is really going to be Burke and Rock. And both of them are really coming in between him and Kanan. Because remember, he didn't think he had a namesake. And now he has someone who can somewhat carry on his legacy when he goes. But I think both of them would interfere in some kind of way with his relationship with Kanan. Therefore, he's going to try to put a stop to it by any means necessary. So that's my prediction with him. There definitely could be other things that we don't see. But those to me are the only true beefs that I can see. Kanan having a beef with him, possibly, but again, as we see, and even with the trailer, he's more beefing with his mama than anyone else. So as far as I see it, I would say these two women are blocking him as far as his tight-knit relationship with Kanan, and that's going to be more of his conflict as well as possibly his internal conflicts as well, maybe, of course. But yeah, I would say that's going to be my prediction, is that by any means necessary, he's going to make sure he keep a relationship with Kanan, and he's not going to let Rock get in the way, and he's not going to let Burke get in the way. Now, how he's going to execute both of them and making sure that they don't interfere, we shall see. My prediction with Burke is that he's going to set her up. If he gets to the point where this season it actually does happen where she becomes unalive due to him, it's mainly about Kanan, not necessarily about him. That's what it's going to be about. But that's my opinion. But yeah, that's with Howard. So moving on. Lulu. Let's not forget the infamous line last season. I own you, ninja. I own you. All right. But he got a lot going on. All right, let's not forget the Camacho situation. And yes, even though the Jamaicans were taken care of last season, We don't know what else Camacho got up his sleeve because he was probably already feeling like this was going to happen anyways. So I feel like that still isn't over. Something with Camacho is going to come back to haunt him in some kind of way. And then look, y'all talk about how cute they are. Like most of the guys on this show, yeah, they don't disappoint as far as their looks are concerned. But yeah, so I think that's still gonna haunt him in some kind of way. Let's not forget he did unalive one of the mafia bosses in New Jersey's boys, even though he did it as retaliation, but at the same time, he still did it. So that is going to be a situation. And the whole, sprayed in a shootout that they had where they was at the projects and they went to the studio. So that in itself, it may not be over when it comes to that. I think that there's definitely going to be issues there. And then with Ziza, whatever her name was, Ziva, whatever her name was, we know that she got unalive in that studio. And remember, she mentioned that her parents were freaked out and worried about her, especially after Cartier, after he was unalived. So could be that the parents come after him. We don't know who her parents are. We don't know their background and why they were so comfortable with Cartier as her manager or someone to be around, but wasn't possibly comfortable with Lou. So it could be that they come after. They could come after Lulu. And then, of course, we have his beef with his sister. That is definitely not over. To the point where he was literally crying in that freaking house when she said what she said and she walked off. I don't think he will unalive his sister. What I do think is that he would do what he can to stop her. And not just necessarily the studio situation, because to stop her or for other people to get control of the streets the way that she wants to control the streets, to stop her having main control of Queens means that he can ease up and focus on the stuff that he wants to focus on. So I could see him doing a chess move and possibly helping Kanan get to a certain, even though he loves his nephew, he knows his nephew's not going to stop. He could use Kanan to get him a connection or whatever the case may be so he can run the streets. So then that way he doesn't really have to be under, the control of Rock. That could definitely be it. I don't see him though unaliving her, at least not this season. At least not this season. But he wants to be from under her thumb. He wants to completely be done with it. What other way to be done with it? You can't tell her that you're done. She already said she owned you. So what other way? The only way possible is to make sure that she no longer has control of the streets. Then you can ease your way out of there. So I feel like he's going to try to find a way to slither his way away. Now, do you think, let me ask y'all this, do you think it's possible that Rock would do something to Lou? Because she claims she'd be about family. And as much as I love Rock, Rock is about Rock. That's who she's about. So do you think that she will unalive Lou? Let me know in the comment section. Because that could be a possible situation as well. Because when you really think about it, she has both of her brothers who are at their wits' end as far as the game is concerned. So Lou wants to get out because he really has a passion for music and wants to pursue music. Marvin, he has a whole other thing, but both of them are kind of over it. You know what I mean? They're both over it in their own different ways. So, and her two brothers was really her muscle and her backing, and to lose them, hell, to lose one of them, she gonna be vulnerable out here. So let's see. Rock has no loyalty, so it's possible. She better not, though. Hey, I'm gonna put it past her. If you willing to have your son, to literally have your son try to unalive a cop, you don't care about nobody. Like, and still to this day, that's one thing that still, as far as the writing is concerned, I never could understand that. She may think in her own way that was protecting him, but remember, it was like she went from being like, you are not about to be in these streets. You're about to go to this preppy school in the city. Like, absolutely not. To literally when Lou almost got burned up in that fire, she was like, I'm going to be the last one standing. And then all of a sudden she wanted Kanan completely involved. And I was like, where the hell did this come from? That's one thing that kind of threw me off with the first season. I was like, how do you go from 1 minute saying your son's not going to be a part of this to the next minute because your brother almost got burned up in the fire? Now you saying you're going to use your son to unalive a cop? Y'all let me know what y'all thought about that, because to me that was the one thing I will say about this series, this power Kanan, raising Kanan, that did not make sense to me. But with that being said, Lou Camacho is not over. I think Homegirl's family or somebody's going to come after him in regards to that situation. And with Rock, he's going to try to take her down. He's going to try to take her down. And then again, we'll see what happens with the mafia boss in New Jersey. But yeah, those are my predictions. He's still going to have his past and situations haunt him. Now, Marvin. The last time we saw Marvin, he was shot. Now, if you guys look at the trailer, we only see a small clip of Marvin in the trailer, and it looks like somebody is driving him, and it looks like he's shot. So maybe they're driving him to the hospital. But I don't think so, but it's possible when you really think about it, because we clearly know Kenya is gone. Jukebox mama Kenya gone. Ain't no way she coming back. She's not coming back from that. All of them shots, she pretty much was Rock's bulletproof vest. Okay, she's gone. Now it's possible they may have it where Marvin becomes unalive for several reasons. He had that heart-to-heart with Jukebox right before he left and went on that mission in the projects. So typically, a lot of times when you have those heart-to-heart moments, that's right before typically people go. But at the same time, if she loses both of her parents within the same night, that may really develop Jukebox into who she eventually became when we see her in the first Power, where she didn't even care about hurting a child. So it could be that they do that to where she really can't process it at all, because literally within a couple hours she loses both of them. But here's another theory. One, Marvin lives. He got a lot of people on his conscience. One, the mafia boss's son. Two, the therapist, where they was trying to aim for him, but the therapist ended up getting hit. Then you have Tony, the snitch, the lady with the dog. But of course, we still have a situation where the doctor or the dentist that she was with is still alive. So let me see. I have a love-hate relationship with Marvin. Hungry like Melvin. I could see that and the white cop going to help her. Which who are you talking about, Ruby? Oh yeah, going to help her as far as you talking about Burke helping her as far as what? Like if she loses both her parents and trying to get her to be a cop? Yeah. So it could be that they make Marvin where he's unalive, because I think he got shot in the stomach, if I'm not mistaken. And they left it open-ended. So we don't really know. But yeah, Jukebox as a cop. Yeah, because we clearly know she ended up getting influenced to become a cop. For someone who hated cops, the fact that she got influenced to become one, it's clear that it's probably because of Burke. But here's another thing. Y'all remember first season. Melvin, or Marvin, said Melvin. Hungry like, because I see hungry like Melvin. Marvin, remember, he was running the streets. He was running the streets. And what did Rock say? I had to start running it because of you effing up. Remember, Marvin started using. Y'all remember when she said that in season 1? Marvin started using. And there was a very emotional scene at the end of last season when he had to unalive that crackhead. Okay. And I think the reason why he was so emotional is because it was a reflection of himself back in the day. Because when he tried to be nice and say, I'm giving you money so you can go, and he made a comment like, you can always change, it's never too late to change. Then when the guy decided to stay, he was crying. He was crying. So he didn't want to, because I think to a certain extent, either knowing that guy and what he used to be, and he ended up becoming a crackhead, or the fact that he saw so much of himself in that guy. And not to mention, remember when he had a heart-to-heart with Kenya, as pissed off as he was with Kenya when he confronted Kenya the first time about coming back in Jukebox life, he was tearing up then. He was in love with Kenya still, in my opinion. He was still hurt that Kenya just left him, and literally just left him and Jukebox. So I say all of that to say that you got the crackhead on his conscience. You're going to have Kenya on his conscience. You're going to have the therapist that he was having a connection with on his conscience. He was already trying to become better and even admitted to Jukebox that he is a effed up person and he has done some effed up stuff. Who's to say Marvin won't get back into using? Who's to say? He was already recovering from it anyways. So who's to say that all of this doesn't mess with his psyche? And he ends up messing up. What do y'all think about that? Because if it's not him being unalived in the beginning of this season, what is going to be his internal conflict? And in my opinion, he was already feeling like he was a horrible guy, especially after what he did to Jukebox. And then, of course, with Kenya, he's going to find out about Kenya. He already had the therapist. I really think he's going to go to a mental downward spiral. And I wouldn't be shocked if he picked up, I don't know what his preference was, but he was an addict at one point. So I would say that would be quite interesting to see him go down that way versus going out in a blaze of glory. But again, that's my prediction, that maybe he truly loses it and he just can't take it anymore. Or again, we see him unalive from the beginning. And then this is going to be more so about Jukebox and how she is going to function with not having any of her parents at this point. So, but yeah, I say that we may see Marvin possibly go back to using. We may see him go a downward spiral because of all of these people. He feels like their blood is on his hands. He could fall off becoming, because he was an addict before. Look at season 1. She said she had to step up because he fell off and he started getting addicted. He got to prison, I guess, cleaned himself up, but that don't mean nothing necessarily, especially during that time when it was rock all over the place. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, I would say that we're going to see a mental breakdown when it comes to Marvin if he stays alive. We're going to see a mental breakdown when it comes to him. And then when you really think about it, that's still like Jukebox losing him anyways. Jukebox will lose him anyways. If he ain't mentally there for you, then it's just as much as him being gone. Look, he like, you must be like listening to the beginning of the live. Because I'm like, literally, yes, you told me. Okay, you know what? Here he go. He likes Force because it's so bad, it's good. Not because he actually really thinks it's good. He's saying because it's so bad, it's good. I'm done. I'm done. But yes. But yeah, so I think we definitely could see a mental breakdown when it comes to Marvin. All right. Either way, both of them brothers is fed up with Rock. They're fed up in some kind of way, in their own ways. One is just about music, the other one is just tired of, the unaliving and just realizing he's just not that good of a dude. That was his moment last season. So, but yeah, that's my prediction. He would possibly go a downward spiral, start using again to really try to clear his mind from all of the stuff that he's done. Next, Jukebox. We clearly know where she ends up in the first power. She becomes stone cold. She becomes heartless. She becomes downright evil. So where do we go with this? Now, remember when it came to Nicole's father, her and Nicole's father was creating actually a good relationship. But the last thing that she said to Nicole's father was what? I am the reason why your daughter is unalive. She took that stuff out of my bag. I didn't see it, didn't know it. She used it. That's why. Has nothing to do with Burke. It has everything to do with her taking the stuff out of my bag. And she leaves and the father is stunned. All right. So with that, nah, I don't think that's gonna happen, brother. And I can't put it up because you didn't put the asterisks up, but we're only in season 3, and they've already renewed season 4. As a matter of fact, from my understanding, they're about to go into production for season 4. So Rock and Kanan are two big characters that I don't see them. It's not happening anytime soon. Not happening anytime soon. They will be staying around for a minute. But it left the father stunned what she said. It's possible he could start going after her, like the mother was trying to go after her. It's possible. You know what I mean? Because now that he knows the story that it came from her bag, who's to say that he won't pursue that? And Burke may be there to protect her, because Burke protects her simply because of the fact that they do have that connection. And Burke wished she had someone, a part of the LGBTQIA community, protect her or be able somebody to talk to. Juke doesn't have that, and Burke wished she had it. So she's trying to be like that for Juke to a certain extent, because she's still using Juke at the same time. But who's to say that the father at that point doesn't go on the mother's side and go after Jukebox? That is very possible at that point, because then he's really going to probably look at it like it is your fault. It's your fault. Then you're going to have her mourning Kenya. Now, we do see a small clip. There's a small clip going around where it looks like Jukebox and Kanan are in the hospital waiting. Now, in my opinion, they're waiting on Rock, because remember, Rock got shot in the arm when they attacked her house. So it could be that they're waiting for her. I don't think that's a moment of a Marvin situation. And it doesn't look like she has processed the Kenya situation, because I understand what her mother did to her, but I think she would still feel something to know that her mother is gone. I don't know if she even knows that part yet. So as far as I see it, I see that she's definitely going to go probably a downward spiral. If both of her parents are gone this season, it's over. It's over. It is definitely over for her. She's really going to get to that point. Now, it appears that her and Kanan are going to join forces to take over. She's definitely seems like she is going to be the right-hand guy, or girl, I should say, for Kanan. All right. But as far as the emotional part, I think we're going to see more of Juke being that cold-hearted person that we saw her in for a Power season. Wait, not Power season, but Power book 1. We're going to start seeing that cold part of her this season. it's going to be very obvious at this point that she's going to do a switch, a complete switch. She already was not scared, but at the same time, she still had some type of heart, and she was trying to find herself, which is why she was so busy trying to find her mom, connect with her mom, even trying to do the whole girly outfits and stuff with her mom. I think losing her mom and even what's going to happen to Marvin is going to cause her to not give a F about anything or anyone. That's what I think. I think that we're going to see that. Now, I would like to see, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I would like to see her give some type of pushback or kickback when it comes to Burke. Because let's be clear, Burke is an issue when it comes to her family, especially the main two that she really hasn't had any issues with as of yet is Kanan and also Rock. So she may have some pushback, or she's going to have pushback with Kanan, because remember, Kanan said in season 1, and I don't know if maybe I'm thinking too deep into this, but when Kanan said, "What do you know about my family, Juke? What do you know about my family?" And she was like, "I know my family is your family." Maybe, maybe not. So I'm wondering why he said that. And then, of course, that's when she was like, "You think I'm scared of you, ninja?" and kept it moving. It could be that her and Kanan get into it. I don't know about this season, though. I think they're going to build their empire on the streets first before they get into it. Because clearly Power Book 1 was not the first time getting into it. There was already a lack of trust that they had for each other, clearly, by the time we saw her in Power Book 1. Let me see what y'all saying in here. I don't even know if I can post what Tiff's saying. Let me see. I don't know. She's ugly and her tongue game looks bad. You know what? Jukebox walking around with that heavy bottom lip. Let it go, Juke. Stop it. I think she's starting to switch by the end of the show or next season. She completely switches over. Completely switches over how, though, Ruby? Switches over where she's against Kanan, or switches over where she's going to be a part of the streets and then become because she became a cop, but she was a shady cop. And in my opinion, she probably was always a shady cop. She probably got in to be a shady cop. I feel like Juke is going to be forced to move because remember, in Power, she wasn't living in NYC. Exactly. But why, though? Did Kanan kick her out of New York? You know what I mean? Did Kanan kick her out of New York? Did something happen where she had to leave because of him? Because there was resentment and a lack of trust between them by the time we saw the adult Juke in Power 1. There was a lack of trust already. She did not trust him. And he definitely wasn't rocking with her like that compared to what we saw them in the beginning of this book, Power Book 3. They were very close at one point because she ended up moving to DC. So yeah, it could be that this is going to be the beginning of the end when it comes to their closeness, but also the beginning of the end of Jukebox just having nothing but a pure dark soul. I think we're going to see more of that darkness in her this season for sure. Because she deletes a cop or someone important. Yeah, but the thing about deleting a cop, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. But I'm wondering if she was a cop before she ended up leaving New York. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we're going to have so many seasons of, because they're still in high school when you really think about it. No one has graduated yet. So it's like we got a lot of seasons to work with when it comes to raising Kanan. Everything, no love, one appearance is unalive, Ruby. Roz and Kanan. Roz, you mean you talking about Raquel? But yeah, I think we're gonna see it. We're gonna see a downward spiral when it comes to Juke. A downward spiral. What I would like to see, though, I would like to see if she's willing to have a moment of being in love again. Because see, her first love and in high school, her first everything Of course, we know how that ended, but what if we see her actually get involved again, but then this time this girl turns around and tries to play her? You know what I mean? No, it's all good, Ruby. I know you guys just be typing. But what if we see, I would like to see her again pursuing and being of interest, like actually liking a girl. But then this time, this girl actually plays her, which will make her even more cold blooded, stone cold. I could see that. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen this season either. That's what I'm saying. I really think we gonna have this may go longer than the first Power. The first Power was what? 6 seasons, 7 seasons? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think so. I think this could go because this, like I said, they're working on season 4. This could easily be 6, 7, even 8 seasons. I can't see Juke, so hell. But yeah, so I definitely, with that being said, though, I think we're gonna see the dark side of Jukebox to the highest degree at this point. Unique. Brother Unique with his fine self. I love me some Unique. Unique is cute. Unique is cute to me. So Unique has a couple of situations also. Let's start off with Rock. Now, I know he was flirting with Rock at the end of last season. Now, that is possible that it could happen that way, but I don't know about Unique. Unique was so upset with how Rock pretty much put him in jail, pretty much framed him, took his whole empire away from him. I think he's playing chess and not checkers in this situation. You know what I mean? Like, literally, I think he's playing chess and not checkers. Yeah, Joey bad. Yeah, he is fine. He is fine. But yeah, I think he's playing chess, not checkers. I don't know if he necessarily likes her like that, the way he in the diner was trying to make it seem like that he would like her in that way. I think he's playing chess. And I think especially now, one thing that they have in common is the big mafia guy coming after both of them at this point. So even if you don't necessarily trust her, it's in your best interest to sit up there and make sure that you guys protect each other because of that. You know what I mean? Which I loved, by the way, because I was like, I hope he wouldn't take her side after all of the racist names and stuff. And they was calling her Tootsie Roll and all of this stuff. Yeah, you better sit up there and you go with your own on that situation. So with that, I definitely feel like for sure he's still playing chess. I just don't think it's going to be a legit Bonnie and Clyde situation and he's going to fall in love with her. I think that he's always going to have to watch his back, and he is always going to watch his back with Rock, just like Rock is going to watch her back in the situation. But he also has good old Juliana, which is right there in the upper left-hand corner. You remember, he's the one who took her in the first place. So, and all of a sudden, she went from this damsel in distress to acting like she was Queen Pen. But let's just play that for a second. It's possible that she played her cards right and played like she was a damsel in distress and she just couldn't protect herself because she wanted someone else to do her dirty work for her, like Rock. Because how is it that you sit up there and act like you can't do anything? You can't protect yourself. You have a freaking cousin who literally has muscle, but you get Rock to do your dirty work. I feel like that was a setup. I really do. And while everybody was like, how did you go from acting like, you got bruises on your face, now you talking about you a dangerous woman? Because I think low-key, she's always been dangerous. She was just sitting up there playing crazy, like, she couldn't do anything for herself. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking Juliana, because she's still so upset about that, gonna try to come after Unique. I really, truly think that is going to be the case. They might not fall in love, but they're going to. I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure. I am definitely sure that's possible. And he's dating Hakeem girlfriend from Empire, say or something like that. Are you talking about for the show, or are you talking about in general outside of the show? And then remember Brother Dean, when he messed up his grandmama bingo game and knocked over stuff and everything else, he could also be a target. He could be a target for Unique too. Unique got a couple of people that he got to look over his shoulder. He has to look over his shoulders. So I would say Juliana is going to be an issue for Unique. I would definitely say if they don't get a hold of the mob boss, they may actually be able to take care of the mob boss. But if they don't, he's going to be a target also. But I say Juliana's going to be one of the main ones, and he's going to have a couple of sneak attacks in the process. And he's going to try to stay close to Rock because, of course, at one point, he was trying to make his way out with what was his name? Royale? I can't never say his name. The guy who at one point was his right-hand man that he was upset with when he went with Rock. He said they were going to venture off and do their separate thing. Well, now that he's unalive, who else does he have? You know what I'm saying? Who else does he have? So with that, that's what I'm thinking is going to be the case. Juliana's probably going to be his main one, though. He's going to really have to watch it. And I wouldn't be shocked if Juliana tries to get close to someone in his family, like his baby mama or someone like that, to, play that game with him. That may be the case with her because she is still fuming over the fact that she was taken and Rock did nothing. So that's my prediction with him. But he's definitely going to have a target on his back. And without Rock, who is his muscle at this point? Because his main guy is gone. So next, good old Kanan. So he definitely got his folks. First things first, we have, of course, him and his mama. They're definitely about to go head to head this season for sure. And he's going to try to build his empire. And I think eventually what's going to happen is both empires are going to bump head. He's going to separate himself from his mom, but then the mom's going to realize that Kanan can not only do it better than her, but he definitely moves more different and better than her. So I just think that this is going to be something that's going to continue on season 4, 5, just it's going to continue for a minute. So that is going to be that. But then at the same time, you have Burke. And remember, he pushed Burke down, knowing her punk ass, she'll try to put some type of assault charge on him. You know what I mean? Which, again, that could be a reason why Howard even gets more involved in the situation because she would try to go after Kanan. So with that, that's it. And then also another thing I was thinking about, what if the mafia boss tries to go for Kanan, especially now that his son is gone? That's possible as well. You know what I mean? But I'm starting to think the Tony Danza character, the main the boss guy in Queens and Howard Beach, I think he's about to handle some situations. It could be that he takes out the guy in New Jersey for not properly taking care of stuff or bringing so much drama into his borough. So it could be that. But at the same time, I could see him trying to go after Kanan. And because Kanan is a minor, and that's like rule 101 is that you don't go after kids, he could be taken out by his own people because of him trying to go after Kanan. That is definitely possible. And again, I think Kanan and Famous are definitely not going to be as tight as they were the first 2 seasons this season. We're going to see a separation at this point. I truly think that. I don't know if he's going to have a separation when it comes to Howard, or more so he's just going to be bucking Howard because of the fact that, he's a teenager. He feels like no one can tell him what to do. But I don't think it's going to be like the same animosity like he has towards Rock, because Rock has been lying to him. But you guys remember, Rock was an actual snitch for Howard. She was a snitch. So when you really think about it, remember Burke said to Kanan when she confronted him, your mother was an informant. And he didn't believe her. In fact, he wanted to check her, like, you're going to have to answer to that because you sitting up there calling my mama a snitch. But what if he starts to believe it? What if he actually starts to believe it? So then you have that you are not Deacon's son. You know that for a fact. And that's what your mother has used this whole entire time to keep her clout and her protection out there in the streets. Then you find out and maybe even start to believe that your mother did, in fact, snitch. You know what I mean? Like that in itself, like you got two things against your mother. Two things against your mother that she may be like, I'm going to have to push back because those are some things. And of course, coming from him, if he's willing to put it out there, they will believe Kanan before they believe anyone else. If Kanan's willing to say it, they're definitely going to believe him. And then what kind of clout is she going to have then? So he has that over her head. Not only were you a snitch and an informant to the police, but you ended up making a baby with the police. So I think he's definitely, and he may get to the point where he starts to believe that his mother was a snitch. And then that's what's really going to make him really lack respect for her. And so that's why I think they're really going to go head to head because he has too much stuff over his mother at this point where her credibility in the streets would be done and he would get all the power. So he would definitely, in my opinion, use that this season. He would definitely use it this season to the point where it's like, you can't say anything to me. Like, just like a true teenager. I have so much over you right now. You can't say anything to me. And if you do, I'm going to put it out there. So I definitely feel like that is going to be the major conflict with him and Rock and what he knows as far as that is concerned. And the Burke situation, because I can see Burke putting a charge on him. So yeah, I would say those are the things that are definitely going to happen. You said you're not connected to this show. I'm not connected to any of the characters like I am on other shows. What shows? Like Power? I mean, like I'm not to the point where I have like a favorite character. I just like the whole, to me, in my opinion, this show, you have main characters, but I feel like everybody has a fair opportunity on this show. Like everybody has their own story on this show to where you could truly be able to take that character and there's so many ways that you could spin their story based on their past. So that's what I love about it. It's not really just about Rock and Kanan. You could really look at all of these characters and really be able to develop so much with the little stuff that they have as far as their background is concerned. To sound New York or something. Can't take the voice. Maybe it's his lip. Y'all, what about the predictions? Not the voices, not that. What about the predictions for this season? What are your predictions for the season? Not what you don't like, but the predictions for the season. What are your opinions about the predictions on what's going to happen this season? But yeah, so that's what I think when it comes to Kanan. Kanan at this point, shouldn't he be a senior? And I want to say Juke is a year older than him. So who the hell is about to graduate? Is somebody about to graduate this season? I'm hoping. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that maybe Juke is going to graduate this season and then he's like a junior and he's right behind. But I'm like, we haven't seen them really in school. You know what I'm saying? Like you like really, well, no, but I would like to hear your opinions on predictions for this season. I would love to hear that. I don't want to just be talking by myself over here, but I would love to see what your predictions are with this season. But yeah, I would like to see them back in school because they are in school. But last season, it was more so about them talking about school, but not really seeing them in school anymore. You know what I'm saying? So like definitely, but I would definitely I feel like Kanan is really about to use that over his mother's head as far as the stuff that he has on her. Because when you really think about it, that would pretty much, she would have to leave Queens at this point if he decides to spill the beans. But yeah, I would definitely see that. And so finally, we truly have the main character, in my opinion, because it is raising Kanan. All right. raising Kanan. We have Rock, and she got a lot of damn enemies. You got her own brother Lulu, her own son Kanan. You know what I mean? You have freaking Unique. She don't really know if he friend or foe. Then you have the situation with Cartier and how she took out Cartier, and you know people gonna find out about that. And then of course, Cartier's one of his employees, one of his flunkies, ended up using that situation to cut his own deal. She has so much stuff going on this season. I'm starting to think that maybe, just maybe, Cartier was actually his main supplier was the Tony Danza character in Queens. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking that maybe he was Cartier's supplier. And once he realized Cartier is gone, he's going to force Rock to work for him. Because he forces her to work for him the way that we see in the trailer. So it's either because of the New Jersey guy or it's because of Cartier. Because if Cartier was one of his main guys and now he's gone, he's like, you're going to take his spot. So we have the situation with Juliana. She pretty much says, you know, you in the wrong league, Juliana. I don't know who you think you effing with. And Juliana was like, bring it. So you already know. Yeah, that too. That too. That too. That is very true. Tony Danza might want Rock to take out the New Jersey guys. Possibly. Take them out. That is very true. That is very true. So his hands can be clean. And maybe because of that, he'll give her the incentive of whatever she needs as far as Queens is concerned. Because of course, when things hit the fan, she has to go to him. That's why she went to him the last time before she decided to make a move on the guy in Jersey. So yeah, that is definitely true. But then let's not forget we have Scrappy that she took out thinking that he was a snitch, but his mother was the snitch. She could easily have that mother snitching on her because the mother was already a snitch. Who's to say that she won't get the cops on Rock? You know what I mean? So literally, who's to say that won't actually happen? Where literally she says, okay, you won't sit up there and find out if, you know, who took out my son, then fine. Or she finds out Rock did it. And if she finds out Rock did it, because of course, the fact that they're not moving at all to find out who did it and retaliate, she may put two and two together that she did it. And if that's the case, she's going to take Rock down. She is definitely going to take Rock down. So she got so much stuff on her this season. Like I said, Scrap's mom, she's going to do something. I say she's going to take her down by going to the police. Burke, we clearly know Burke's situation. Burke knows that she was the informant. She could use that situation and put it out there, but I don't think it would be her because the streets don't respect her enough anyways. Hell, the cops don't even respect her. So at this point, I don't even know if her putting that in the streets will actually bring any type of validation from her. Now, from Howard, that's different, but from her, I don't think it's happening. Then you have the mafia guys. Yep, it's going to be the problem that Rock is going to take care of. Yeah, exactly. So he sure don't like them, but again, that's one thing about they will keep it business. They don't care. They will definitely keep it business. And then Symphony. Oh yeah. Now what she doesn't know is that she's really the reason why her actual son is gone. Because remember, Howard thought he was a snitch, but come to find out the mama was a snitch. So that's the thing. But Symphony ends up moving down south. But again, unless we actually saw him be unalive, he can easily come back. And she didn't have the heart to take him out. So I feel like Symphony's story isn't done. And are we going to see a softer side of Rock when it comes to Symphony, or is she going to have to take Symphony out? Yeah, and that's so funny that you just said that. Lou told her Scrap was not a snitch, and he wasn't. Burke with her big suits. Yeah, that's the 90s look. Yeah, but I don't think she knew she's the reason why that it happened to him. But then you have Unique too. She can't, when you really think about it, Rock can't trust anyone around her, including her own son and brothers. She can't. And the sad part about it is it's because of her own doing that it's like that. So I would say that her story and her conflict is going to be much more interesting than anybody else on this show. And because she can act her ass off, I'm ready for it. Because I truly think that Rock, she going to have a lot on her plate. She going to be one of the, she's not going to be able to win in any situation. When she feels like one situation is over, another one is going to pop up. She wanted this life. She said she wanted to be the last one standing. Well, we'll see how much you're going to be the last one standing with all of this. You know what I mean? Because she literally has a lot on her plate. And so at this point, because Juliana, they cut a deal with those guys. So that tells me Juliana's cousin is no longer going to be her supplier. So at this point, she's going to have to probably find another supplier in the beginning of this season. You know what I mean? Unless she's going to be willing to deal with him until she finds another supplier. But the way that ended between them, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Juliana pretty much cut that cord and said absolutely not. I think they might even get a RICO case. Very true. Very true. She gonna have too many people left and right coming after her. Too many people left and right. And then again, we see her and Unique having a standoff with people in masks. She's really gonna have a lot on her hands, but she says that she has changed, or she definitely is not the same person. She even says that to Kanan. So what caused her to all of a sudden change? What caused her to all of a sudden change? That's why I'm saying I think one of them brothers, something happens to one of those brothers. Something happens, or even Kenya. Kenya, even though, you know what I'm saying, she had her issues with Kenya and how she left Juke, you know, Kenya did get unalived right in front of her, to the point where she even looked back to see and was like, oh my gosh, like she's gone. So it could be the fact that she got so many, you know, people and blood is on her hands, and knowing that, you know, her niece mother is now gone, maybe that gives her the change of heart. Doubt it though. I feel like something else gives her a change of heart. Rock dresses her butt on the show. She gives the epitome of 80s and 90s beauty. Yes, she does, for sure. There's people saying that Wright might also be a snitch because she was she was. That's what I'm saying. Kanan has that over her. Kanan didn't believe it when Burke told him, but the fact that he feels like his mother has held so many secrets from him, I think he may even ask Howard. He may ask Howard, and Howard may tell him the truth. And then if that's the case, like I said, you have Deacon, who was supposed to be his father, not his father. Then you have your mother being a snitch. So your mother has lied about Deacon being your father to the whole neighborhood, to all of Queens. And she was snitching too. Yeah. And so she wouldn't have the power anymore. Even if that is her son, he don't respect her no more. So he could literally do that to have the power that he needs when it comes to the streets. So, you know, that's the thing. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. And how can she really get the upper hand when Kanan has that on her? How can she really get the upper hand besides taking her own son out or doing something really dirty to her son? How could she get the upper hand knowing that he has that on her? She was always known as Deacon's girl and Deacon's baby mama. She'll lose that respect. And definitely lose it being a snitch, especially back in them days. So, yeah. So that's what I think when it comes to raising Kanan. Those are kind of my predictions. Of course, I would love to see, as much as I'm thinking this is the way it's going to go, I would love to see if they go a completely opposite direction, because I love when I predict something and it goes completely different, because that means these people in the writer's room are truly thinking about all the possibilities of the way that the audience is thinking, and they want to do something totally different. I love that when it comes to writing. P-Valley was like that for me the first season. P-Valley, I predicted one thing and it was total opposite, and Snowfall definitely did that for me. So I'm hoping they continue it, because this is kind of like that urban 1 hour street show, kind of like, The Wire, Snowfall. This is that show that for me, I hope they continue to keep it good like they did for the first 2 seasons. Also, the streets gonna look at her sideways because her baby, exactly, baby daddy a cop. It's not decon, and I can't say the first word, but it's not decon, and you was a snitch for the baby daddy who's a cop. Literally, she would lose. No, you not, Nene. You ain't excited. You say you ain't even you can't even get into it. Snowfall 6 minutes. Really? You were disappointed with Snowfall season 6? Oh, Jay, we gotta talk. I want to know why. You gotta tell me about that. I loved every single season of Snowfall. To me, it did not disappoint. Oh my God, Snowfall was amazing the way it ended. Absolutely. Poetic justice indeed. Poetic justice indeed. And truly good TV. That last episode, you always got to look at that first episode to see exactly how they were able to bring it all together. And if you look at the pilot episode of Snowfall and that last episode of Snowfall, you guys would totally understand why it went the way that it did. It was truly poetic justice, which, interesting enough, John Singleton has a movie called Poetic Justice. But yeah, Ruby, you gotta watch it. Snowfall was amazing. But again, everybody has their different opinions. Some people don't like Snowfall. So I guess it really depends on you on which one you prefer. But I absolutely love Snowfall. So for me, I feel like when John passed, it kind of went downhill. I feel like the presence was missed, but to each his own. A lot of people are saying that, though, Jay. A lot of people are saying that because they felt like, and I was watching what people were saying, they said if John was still alive, would they have had as much animosity and tension within the family like they did on the show? Because once John left, it was almost like the division of the main family characters, that it really went downhill from there as far as that. And they don't think that John would have possibly wanted the family to be the way that it did. So people have said that. But I still think the showrunner still did an amazing job with it. He turned into the very thing he hated. Exactly. And remember the pilot show, the first show, his father is walking across the street and walking down the street drunk and bummy as all hell. And what's the last thing that we see when it comes to Franklin Saint? Drunk, walking down the street, bummy as all hell. Poetic justice. Also, they never touched on the Crips and Blood storyline. They did. But from my understanding, the reason why they didn't constantly want to show the colors and all of that stuff is because they said that has constantly been played up so much in every LA West Coast story that they didn't want to constantly do that over what was obvious. Now, they did use certain lingo, so you kind of knew who was who. Like, you knew what's his name out of Inglewood. You knew what he represented, just like you knew what Leon and his crew represented. But they just said they just didn't want to show it that much because it's already been done over and over and over again. But they did use the lingo, which I guess to a certain extent for me, since I'm from here, I kind of respect that, because yeah, it's like we constantly know, and we know, we see it all the time. They've been doing that since the early 80s with the movies and stuff. So we constantly know what side represents what side. So yeah. But with that being said, you guys, I'm excited about Raising Kanan. I will definitely be doing videos on it. I just don't know if I'm going to do a live on it, because it really depends on how many people are actually watching the show. So if I don't do lives, I'm definitely going to do, of course, my pre-recorded videos on it. But I'm excited for it. I've been waiting for it because Power Force I don't watch. Power Book 2 I did review on it, but as y'all can see, that was more comedy than anything. All I constantly did was talk about how horrible it was. But this is my show. Raising Kanan is my show, and I think it's also because of the nostalgia of the 90s. I love the whole 80s vibes, the 90s vibes. So yeah, I'm excited. So with that being said, you guys, thank you for listening in, hearing me run my mouth about my predictions. I will be there on you live if you do it. I will be there on you live. Okay, so you're saying live. I mean, you, Ruby, I don't know if you see my pre-recorded videos too, but I have those also. It just really depends. Like, certain lives get certain people more. And so I wanted to do my predictions live because I wanted to see how many people that follow me are really invested in the show. So, sometimes lives are good, but when you're doing live, you have to interact more. So, it just really depends on how many people want to interact about this show. Yes, Raising Kanan is way better. Yes, Force will get canceled. I don't think it's going to get canceled, Jay. Nothing has gotten canceled. Even that, what was that show that's on Stars? Blind Spotted. What's the freaking? It's supposed to be like a dramedy based in the Bay Area. Blind Spotted or Blind something. That show is horrible in my opinion. I don't understand the story flow. I don't understand any of it, but that even got renewed. So I just don't think, like, once you probably get a show on Stars, it stays. Like, it has to be where maybe only one person probably watches, but they constantly renew all of their shows. Nope, absolutely not. Because it won't be about the show. It would be about other things. So absolutely not. Y'all will be talking about how somebody talking about something. It won't be about the story in itself. So no, thank you. So don't say that. That's my show. Force is the highest rated of them so far. Probably because of Tommy. But because Tommy is one of the main characters from the first Power that has his own spinoff. I wouldn't even say that Tariq is a main character. The main ones that we constantly want to see on Power Book 1 was Ghost, Tommy, what was the dang on wife's name, child? Tasha, what's her name, who passed, that Tommy ended up unaliving. But yeah, Tommy's one of the main characters, so I could see that because Tommy's one of the favorites. He was my favorite on Power. The storyline ain't doing it for me. Yeah, Book 2, maybe because of Mary, because the storyline in itself, garbage. I can't do it. Star canceled 4 shows. What 4 shows? What 4 shows you talking about? It's definitely not on the Power. You know me, won't do it good. Because you won't. Y'all couldn't even focus on this one. So no, absolutely not. Y'all up there talking about New York accents. You're talking about the other stuff, not the actual story in itself. Y'all be talking about that. I didn't like what she had on. Why he had to look like that? What's up with his teeth? That would be the conversation. Tommy is a cartoon character. I hate this show. I'm going to cancel Christmas on their ass. Hey, Support Gaming. I'm about to actually get off. I'm ready to see Down in the Valley. I don't know if that's going to happen, Ruby. I don't know if that's going to happen. One, because it's probably not going to happen for a while because of the strikes, even though the strikes are ending. From my understanding, they still haven't ratified the contract for the actors. But at the same time, I don't know if you've heard me on another live, they have a lawsuit against them. Nikki Gilbert from Brownstone is alleging that they stole her idea. So I don't know, because she is willing to bet her whole situation that they stole her idea, that she wants this to go to trial. She actually wants a jury to make a decision because she has so many different things like clips from her plays and all of this stuff showing proof that it was stolen. So I don't know when we're going to see P Valley. Honestly, I don't know. Correct. Correct. I said it. And especially if y'all on that smoke, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Joseph Sakura is mad. Force is not. Wait a minute. Wait. Rewind. So wait, Jay, are you telling me something that's really out there right now? So it's not renewed at this point because Raising Kanan got renewed before even season 3 started. So is it that Force isn't renewed? Let me know something. I'm gonna have to look this up because but again, I think they did that with the second season too. It wasn't immediately announced that it was renewed, but it did eventually get renewed. So wait a minute now. I don't know. Would they actually cancel Force? That would be crazy. Well, they were supposed to have a fifth power. You guys remember that? They were supposed to have power influence with Lorenz Tate, but they canceled that. That's not going to happen anymore, which I think would have been pretty dope if they would have did stuff more on the political side, like strictly focus on that with Lorenz Tate, but they haven't done it, or they're not going to do it. But wait a minute. Hold on, Jay. Oh my God, supporting game is saying it too. Wait a minute. I need them to settle so we can get another season. I miss Uncle Clifford. Yeah, these things happen for years, don't Nene? Years. I don't know, girl. But let me tell you this. I will say this. As much as I love that show, I'm really big on people getting their creative just due. And if it is in fact that they stole her work, and this is especially, you know what I'm saying, a fellow Black woman, she need to get her coin. She got to get her coin. As much as I love that show, I'm not going to be one to be like, well, I don't care. Just show me the show. No, because when someone robs your stuff, allegedly, like she claimed they robbed her stuff like that, I want her to, get her trial and see what they say, see what the judge and the jury says. Yeah, supporting game. Okay, so supporting game in J. Okay, so you guys are definitely say that. Hell no, I don't like Force. No, I don't. I don't like Force supporting gaming. I do not like Force. I've tried to get into it. Even Brother Teeth on here has told me to keep rewatching it. I tried to rewatch it again. I fell asleep. It is just not for me. And I hate that's the case because Tommy was the favorite character for me in the first Power. He was. So I thought for sure this was going to be amazing because he was going to have his own spinoff, but I can't get into it. I can't get into it. No, because the reason why I said that is because not because I feel like Stars doesn't cancel shows. So it's not about the fact that I don't think it's that good. And that's why I just feel like even when it's not good, Stars keeps their shows. And Power is their main bread and butter. So I just don't see them canceling even if it's bad. I think Power Book 2 is bad, but they ain't canceling that. They renewed it. Watered down. And I'm ignoring what you said about Nikki Gilbert, brother, because if they stole, they stole. You know what I'm saying? On a personal level, people may not like her, but what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And if somebody steals from you and it ends up being over $100 million plus franchise, yeah, that'll make probably anybody go crazy. No, y'all got to look into it. She has proof. She has put it out there. She has a whole video out there of the proof. You guys may want to look into it. Even Funky Dineva talked about it, where it's almost like you could kind of see her point. So I know people don't like her because of the reality show, but yeah, please watch it. I tried. I just couldn't get into it. I just booked. You think so? Whew. You think so? Wow. Power trying to do a UK-based version, cancel Force and do that. Yeah. That might be dope. A UK version. They already, because of the strike, was pulling, like, I think they're doing the Australia, what is it, NCIS or something like that. They may stole from her group. What group? What group? Brownstone? Or are you talking about the R&B divas? I heard R&B divas was stole from her. And I'm not mistaken, a lot of the girls now that she's cool with from that show agree with her. Like, it was stole from her. Y'all just don't like her. So it's very clear that y'all just don't like her. Like, a lot of people, and I get it, a lot of people don't like her, but I feel like I cannot really care for someone personally, but still want them to get justice if something was robbed from them. Raising Kanan and Book 2 are better than Force. Force is a snooze fest. Yeah, I agree. Well, Book Power, but you know what? Here's the thing. You got a point, support gaming, because Force is so bad to me that I can't even do a review on it. Okay? Force is so bad, I can't even do a review on it. Book 2, I did a review on it, but it was enough for me to say, even if I was clowning it, it was enough for me to say to do reviews. But Force is so bad, I just cannot even take notes to do a review on it. So actually, you may got a point there. You may got a point. Brownstone, how's she still from Brownstone? Okay, brother. Yes, you don't like her, so you don't care if someone steals from her. I get it. I'm all about people getting their just due. Let's put together a review of Force to change people's opinion. You can call it how you opinionate, Tiffany. Really? Moving on. The actor on Force is goofy. I don't take them seriously, especially Diamond. And who the hell is Diamond? That just shows you how much I don't know. Who's Diamond? Is it the guy that got out of jail the first season? Is that him? That shows you. I don't even know the names. All I know is Tommy. That shows you how much I don't take it seriously. I haven't even developed. I'm like, who are these people? I'm thinking that's who you're talking about. Did you really? Are you being funny? Are you being funny? I think she said she created it, but because of the way that she didn't do a partnership. She didn't do something. She talks about it though, but they took that from her too. So, so that is Diamond. Okay, well, maybe I did pay attention to a certain extent. Let me see. Force season 1 got renewed because it premiered after Ghost. It helped with the ratings. But I feel like Force season 1, like the season 2 didn't get renewed immediately. Wasn't that the case? I felt like it didn't get renewed immediately. A lot of Power, it gets renewed before the other season comes out. So, like, Raising Kanan, for example. Raising Kanan is now renewed for season 4, even though season 3 hasn't even aired yet. That's typically how Power works. That's why they say Power never ends, because before one season comes out, they're already behind the scenes working on another season. It seems like Force, that is not the case. I still, in my opinion, don't think they're going to cancel it though. Power is the reason why, the Power franchise is the reason why Stars is where it is today. I don't see them canceling it, especially if it does get the ratings, because of Tommy. I just am not the one that's a part of the ratings. I don't care. I'm giving the slander. I am not a Force fan. So yeah, that's just what it is. Todd did Hollywood Divas. Oh, okay, Hollywood Divas. Okay, one of them divas. No disrespect to Joseph, but Tommy shouldn't have got a spinoff. He works better in book 2. You got a point there. Gaming, you do actually have a point. See, I love that. You do have a point there, because he does make a lot of sense in Power Book 2 with Tariq and Tasha. He really does. You know what I mean? Because he would truly be like the quote unquote men in that mix now, since Ghost is gone. You do make sense there. You do. I gotta give you that. He does bring more oomph for that show than the spinoff, even though I love Tommy. Trust me, Stars got Kanan and Ghost. They good. They got BMF. It's a wrap for Force. BMF. But BMF has still been more interesting in my opinion than Force. Like when BMF comes back, I'll probably do a review. Oh, but wait, brother. Wait, brother. He's best as a supporting actor, but you can't take the Force slander. You can't say that your lead is best as a supporting character. You can't say that, but then sit up there and say there's Force slander. If your lead is better as a supporting character, that means the show ain't that good. Yeah, I think that's what it means. All the budget is gonna go to BMF. BMF though, and I don't know. Honestly, out of everybody, I say P Valley. I think P Valley may be the new head honcho. Now, I'm sure probably with not all the Power franchises or the Power books together, but P Valley definitely gets way more of a budget than BMF. Now, from my understanding, the guy who created BMF used to write on Power, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know, like season 2 of BMF didn't do it for me like season 1. And I just would like to know where it's gonna go, because it's like at a certain point, what else is there to talk about? Especially because there's been so many documentaries on BMF. I think that is the issue. When you have had so many documentaries and so many interviews with the real life people, it is very hard to keep people interested when we have so many things from the real deal people who are talking about it. But that's just my opinion. The other characters make it interesting because Tommy works best playing off other characters. Yeah, I got you. No shade, but I don't like P Valley. Some people don't like P Valley. Some people don't like P Valley. But you know, at the same time, if he can't hold his own weight as the lead and he's the lead, that's when things can kind of go downhill. Nene, I just really don't believe you could tell me from beginning to end about Force. I just don't. Something tells me you be puffing, passing, and you just enjoy looking at it while you puffing and passing. That's the vibe I'm getting. Can you tell me every episode what happened? If Diamond's character was more developed, Force would be number 1 in my opinion. Right. And that's another thing too. No development. It's all over the place. It is all over the place. And this is Chicago. Chicago would have been a dope situation. I don't know. It's not hitting for me. It's not. It is not. But gaming has a point. I can believe it or not. The not part rings more true. It rings more true. I don't even see a lot of people Force is like a GTA side mission. Oh. Oh my gosh, y'all talking about me. Y'all talking about me. No, there will be no chances here. Absolutely not. There will be no chances when literally they couldn't stay on topic for the predictions for this video. They was talking about people in their New York accents. No, there will not. There will not. We have to talk about the actual show and the storylines and what progressed, not New York accents. That's that. We can't talk about that the whole entire time. Hey, May, what's up, girl? Force is a Saturday morning cartoon. Okay, so Jay is supporting game is going in right now, and probably because Nene and Teeth are going in, so it's pretty much supporting and Jay versus Teeth and Nene. There's no way Tommy could just step foot in Chicago and take over. Now that's true too. See, Jay and support gaming, y'all making some valid points. That is true. It's not happening. Hell, Tommy could be black and wouldn't be able to infiltrate a Chicago gang like that. You got a point. Maybe that's it. It's just not realistic. It's just not really. Oh my gosh, brother, are you admitting something is true? What you mean? What are you admitting? You can thank Ruby all you want. It ain't happening. GTA mission for real. Someone has faith in us. Yeah. Well, y'all could definitely have all the faith in the world. I have faith knowing that y'all come on the live to support. That's what I know I have faith in, because y'all are definitely some big time supporters. But to be able to carry and get on a panel and talk about the actual show from beginning to end, the storylines, and flow with the storylines, yeah, I don't know. The dumbest part, of course, is that Tommy went to a new city without changing his name. Why tell everyone your real name and you're supposed to be deceased? Oh gosh, what y'all got to say about that, Teeth and Nene? Because he did kind of just bring, or I'm assuming you're a he supporting gaming. He just probably brought up a valid point. Why would he use his name and he's supposed to be gone? No, he's clowning the New York accent, say the New York accent isn't legit. You get off topic one time, people lose. There ain't no one time. That ain't no one time. Every time you get on the live, you talk about smoking, and it ain't got nothing to do with the show. That ain't no one time. That's why you probably over there laughing now. There is not no one time. That is every time. That's why I say, I'm going to start calling you Blow Your Smoke. That's what I'm going to start calling you. Then Chris did what off topic was before. Yeah, but I could do that, especially when I'm sitting up there looking at the chat and see other people are off topic. I'll be trying to engage with my audience. I could definitely do that. Fact. And Tommy riding that same classic blue Mustang, chance with, you got a point. You got a point. You definitely got a point. But with that being said, are we really trying to use logic? Yeah, especially when he's not the one writing his own character. Yeah, we got to use logic, bro. We got to use it. I can't count how many times Tommy Mustang got destroyed and rebuilt. Oh, okay, you know what? Maybe we'll do this one day. Maybe it will be a panel with me supporting Game and Jay versus Nene and Teeth when it comes to Force. How about that? Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do a panel about Force logic versus Nene and Teeth's logic on Force. Maybe we'll do a panel about that and we'll see what happens. That will be entertaining. That will definitely be entertaining. Look, I'll have my stills and scenes ready. YouTube coming soon. Okay. Well, you go ahead and do that. Definitely, as far as the panel is concerned, it would be me, it would be Support Gaming, it would be Jay versus Nene and Teeth. And we'll see who can stay on topic as far as story and logic. Story and logic versus the stuff that don't matter. We'll see. So Tommy drives Transformers. Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. That's why someone said a cartoon. Listen, if people can watch Young and Restless, I can watch Force. It's my gangster soap opera. Child, most of the people who watch Young and Restless is our mama and grandmama's ages. Yes, I'm down because Force will be canceled. I'm down with it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Brother Teeth and Nene, y'all would lose. No, Ruby, you can't be the judge because you already showing you bias. We will have everybody else that's going to be in the chat. They would be the judge. It would be multiple people making a decision, not you, because you already showed you being biased. So no. So yeah, and we will talk about straight story because Supporting Game and Jay and myself have been talking about the story. Brother Teeth and Nene haven't really. He just started talking about that a little bit, but for the most part, we're sticking to the story. I told y'all Force was meant as a parody of Chicago's gang life, and that ain't cool. Because let me tell you something, Chicago already got upset with what Spike Lee did with that Chirac movie that he did. Chicago was up in arms about that. Now for this to come along and they still ain't pleased, I don't know. I feel like people trying to make fun of Chicago, and you don't want to make fun of the Chi. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they really be about that life out there. So, it's so many ways they could have did this better, but I can't get into it. And yes, I tried to watch it again and I still couldn't get into it. But on that note, you guys, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Raising Kanan, December 1st, this Friday. It is going to be on and popping. Hopefully, like I said, I'll see about doing lives. I just don't think a lot of people are interested in the live version as of yet. So I'll probably do pre-recorded videos. You know what I mean? So with that, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. A pre-roll. We clearly know he ain't talking about film roll. Do you see what I'm saying? And we about to have a panel discussion about the show. Come on. Come on. Come on. It would be comedy more than anything. It would be comedy more than anything. Trust me. Trust me. So with that being said, you guys, I am definitely going to have a pre-recorded video. Maybe the first episode is live. Maybe. I just don't know. I mean, look at even now. Like, it's a lot of people don't seem to be interested in the show. But again, sometimes you need to do pre-recorded stuff and then do live so people know that you're actually going to be you're actually going to do a review on it. So maybe I'll see. Great live. I'm going to take notes on the show so I can stay on topic. Sure. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Now that, girl, did you just really say that? Girl. Okay. I don't think Ruby be realizing what be going down in the chat on the Chris Nicole channel. Even Rock and Kanan in the screenshots agree that Force is trash. Man, I love y'all. And like at the end of the day, we'll see. That may actually be pretty dope. Well, Force is over now. So I guess we would just have to compare. See, you see this? You see? Do you see what I'm saying? I'm gonna start calling her Blow Your Smoke. That's gonna be her new name. But with that being said, you guys, I will definitely see about doing a live. So it comes on at midnight on Friday. That's 9 p.m. tomorrow, my time. That's when I can typically watch it. I just don't see when I can do a live. Maybe I could do a live Friday evening. Maybe that'll work. Do a live Friday evening about it. But again, I don't know if a lot of people watch it. But if not a live, maybe pre-recorded. But I'll definitely make sure that I stay on top of this. I just hope that it's good like the first 2 seasons. Yeah, no, look, exactly. This is what I'm saying. But you know what? Hey, at the end of the day, whatever y'all look, libations, whatever you got to do. I'm just saying, if we do a panel like that, I clearly see at this point who will win by staying on topic about storyline. Yeah. And sorry, Nene Teeth. Yeah, I don't have faith in y'all when it comes to that. Supporting gaming, Jay and myself, we would end y'all when it comes to storyline and talking about this. Supporting gaming, Jay just literally did it within a couple of posts that they just did. They literally. So with that being said, love you guys. Have a wonderful evening. I will see you on the next video. Like I said, which will probably be Power. And then, of course, we have Love After Lockup coming up as well, which I'm not really excited about, if I can be honest. I'm more excited about seeing Raising Kanan. Yeah, okay, it's on. We'll see. We'll see. Remember, the whole point is to stay on topic about the storyline. The storyline. All right. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you on my next video. Toodles.